Look, Igor, on the podcast, we always, I think one of the things people love to hear, and obviously you're still only 19 years old and, already achieved so much in the game, but where did your tennis journey start? How old were you? Where was it at? And, how quickly did it become your passion?
So I started earlier than most of the players probably because my older sister played, and
Okay.
she's 3 years older. So when I was like 4, I was probably at the tennis club and running around and just annoying her. So after a few years, I started group lessons, then individual lessons. But the most important person like was not my sister but my dad, because he was the one that showed us tennis, and he was the one that was driving us to all the tennis lessons. So I really appreciate his help. And then it kind of developed step by step. I started playing tournaments in Poland, then in Europe, under 14, under 16, and then junior Grand Slams, and suddenly it became really close, being a pro tennis player.
And to pull you back a little bit, you mentioned your dad, who I believe was an Olympic rower. So
Yeah.
he was a very successful sportsman in his own right. Was he the one that almost gave you the dedication and showed you the way to being a professional athlete?
For sure. Like most of the my features of character that are important in sports, he was the one that really showed us how to be professional and how to really act like someone who wants to be a professional. So when we were younger, it was really important for us to have that kind of person. And even though he wasn't our coach, he was just raising us in that way, and that was really amazing because it wasn't hard for me later to combine school and education with sports.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's because of him basically. So I really appreciate it right now.
Yeah.
Maybe when I was younger, it was hard
Yeah.
because it took a lot of discipline and just focusing on our goals. But right now, I think it was the perfect way to do that.
But is there the danger that sometimes we see in tennis or in sport, when there is a parent that is very dedicated and disciplined and has achieved so much themselves, that they can almost push people away from the sport as well?
Well, it depends on the person, I guess, and on how they approach sports. We always had some kind of plan B. So it wasn't like you have to play tennis
Yeah.
because I was a rower and I want you to be
Okay.
a professional player. It wasn't like that. It was more like school is your priority right now. I would love for you to play tennis someday, maybe professional, but it isn't easy, and many people when they're teenagers, they're stopping. As my sister actually,
Okay.
she had some injuries and she couldn't play later. So I think he was aware that there is like more probability that it's not gonna happen than I'm gonna win a Grand Slam. So
Yeah, no, absolutely.
um, so it was his dream for sure, but I don't feel like we had like pressure, like huge pressure around us.